Welcome in, Slumpbusters. This is Juju Talk Sports, and it is time for Slumpbuster FFB episode 31 with your host, the fantasy Aristotle himself, here to break down NFL Week 10. We have about 3 more weeks till playoffs, so let's get you ready by talking about NFL Week 11. Are you going to be in? Are you going to be out? Well, if you listen to this podcast, you have a great chance of improving your playoff odds. We got tons of great information for you to absorb as you head into those championship weeks. Before we do that, let's give a shout out to our paid partners, the people that help us produce, make this show possible. Let's talk about Manscaped.com. So you're already listening to the number one fantasy football podcast out there. Why not indulge in the number one in men's grooming? I'm talking about Manscaped.com. And if you use promo code SLUMP, you won't be a chump. In fact, you'll save 20% off plus free shipping and handling on tons of great products like the Lawnmower 3.0, the head trimmers, the crop preserver. They have the perfect package 2.0, and it can all be yours. You will bust out of any slump if you have all these tools, brought to you by Manscaped. No more nicks, no more cuts. They got all the products to make sure that you're smelling your best all day. Manscaped.com, I'm telling you guys, they are the best, and we work with the best. You want to know who else is the best in their field? NatureReliefTX.com. Now, you've heard about a lot of companies selling you a lot of CBD these days. CBD is trendy. Well, let me tell you about a company that has organic, safe, tested, proven products that you will love. Hell, even your dog might love. They have products for your dog. Get a great night's sleep. Check out their nighttime gummies. Back in stock. And Nature Relief, if you use promo code SLUMP, again, you're gonna save some money. So go ahead and check out Nature's Relief, TX.com. Tired of saving money? Yeah, I know. Just the burden of having all that extra money in your pocket. Want to spend some more? Well, how about going on to Caveman Coffee Co. Now, Caveman has the nitro cold brews, the pumpkin spice lattes. They have the hibiscus tea. If you've seen Bryce Dallas Howard out there pitching the hibiscus tea, want to know why she's doing it? Because it's awesome. And you can have yours today. Get yourself a case. Go ahead, check out cavemancoffeeco.com. Use promo code SLUMP. Get yourself a mammoth blend too. cavemancoffeeco.com, promo code SLUMP. But that's not all, folks. Our last sponsor, razorsport.com. Tired of getting beat by Vegas? Yeah, of course. Who isn't? Because Vegas has been beating us for too long. Well, how about when we punch back? Let's go ahead and check out razorsport.com. Now, they have a diverse crew of handicappers, betting experts, people that know what they're doing and know how Vegas thinks to tell you who to bet on, when to bet on, and why to bet on them. And those are all important tools in ensuring that you know the proper ways to beat the overs, beat the unders, whatever it is you're planning on putting your money in. Why not bet smartly and check out razorsport.com. That's Razor, R-A-Z-E-R, sport.com. All right. Thank you again to our partners. It is time, folks. It's time to hashtag Bust the Slump. Enjoy.
Slumpbuster. Quiet on the set. Make sure my mic is on. Aris, Dre, and Juju dog diving towards the pylon. Go for 2, so damn rude. Recognize authority. Spitting tips for fantasy. No way you're outscoring me. Bold predictions with conviction every single day. Sports addiction, no restriction. Kicking game like Pele. He's the greatest. What's the basis? Pick an athlete. Let's debate this game. Outrageous trading places. Sudden death. Take 10 paces. Turn and shoot. Boys the truth. Mamba mentality. Future greats take their place. Dreams become reality. Blowing outside, knocked it out the park. Your boy discovered fire like a rock with a spark. Refs acting like Neanderthals. Phantom flags, nothing calls. Heartbreak losses, tragic falls. Every week discuss it all. Settle in, listen up. Free your time like Andrew Luck. Show's about to start. I suggest you buckle up.
Today I'm going to be soloing it, unfortunately, so let's get a solo on 3. 1, 2, 3, solo. All right, guys, so yeah, it's just going to be me because of a terrible windstorm out in Ohio. Andrew was going to be here with us today, but he's not going to be here today, so it's just me. Sorry, guys, if you hate me. If you love me, what's up, my peeps? But, so you saw Chris's No Shave November earlier. Follically challenging. Nothing here, nothing here. So I actually got told I got to shave. So I made it, 16 days into No Shave November. And this is all I got. But oh well, job comes first. So I got to pay my bills, guys. So hey, if you're still doing No Shave November, let's go, keep them up. Chris is looking scraggly. I know Julian has to keep his nice and clean for his job. Same with Andre. I got a little bit of a leeway because I don't see my bosses every day. But they finally were like, yeah, no, you gotta start shaving because I do have some high-profile accounts at work, so got to do what you got to do. But keep on trucking, guys, if you are in No Shave November. I wish I could participate, but, follically challenged over here and all, which sucks because my dad has a beautiful beard. My grandpa has a beautiful beard. And then I got just nothing right here. Just terrible. It's terrible. But never mind. I was going to go on a rant, but we won't get into a rant. So we're going to do it a little bit differently today on the show. So instead of doing top 10 for the year, because this time of year, everything's pretty much going to be the same week in and week out, except for those guys that are on a bye. We're going to do top 10 of the consensus rankings on our show and the top 10 of the week and see how they compared. See how good we did, see how bad we did, because, man, I'll tell you, there were some stinkers in there, but, it is what it is. Fantasy football always happens. That guy you need to pop off has one catch for 20 yards, or the guy that's sitting on your bench like Naeem Hines on my mom's bench, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns on the bench. She also had MVS on the bench, but so did we in the podcaster league. So, it's terrible. Those guys that you don't need to do good, and the guys you need to do good suck. So let's just go ahead and get right down into it. So we're always going to start off with the quarterbacks because it's the most important position in fantasy. Not really fantasy, but football in general. It's the most important position to have. So as of right now, it's only about halftime of the Monday night game, so our rankings are not fully complete for the week because Dalvin Cook is still playing. Thielen is still going to be out there. Allen Robinson. That's really going to be the only 3 guys that are going to make a case for this top 10 list. So let's just go ahead and break down right into it. So our number 1 quarterback we ranked was Kyler Murray. We did do pretty good. He finished 4th overall in the week, so good on for us because he did really good. Then was Rodgers at number 2. He finished 3 on the week. And number 3, Josh Allen, is number 5 on the week. So top 3 right there, we're good to go. Let's just stop the show right there and just pat ourselves on the back because we did pretty good. But here's where it sucks. So number 4 on the week for us on our consensus ranking was Russell Wilson. He ended up with QB 21 on the week. So I saw a stat earlier that him and Goff had a combined 500 pass yards, no passing touchdowns. It's like the 3rd time it's happened since 1950. So an anomaly of a game. Russell Wilson, definite stinker on the game. So QB 21, barely finished as a QB 2 overall for the week. So it's not a good look for him. Games are going to bounce back. They're going to have better weeks. It's Russell Wilson. He's right now has 2 top 5 receivers. The running game is, still there with Alex Collins and everything. So we'll get into him here in a little bit. But Wilson, just a stinker of a week for him, kind of like Brady last week. It's going to happen. Julian likes to call it the law of averages. Most of the time, everything's going to average out. So if you're going to have all these good games, eventually you're going to have a terrible one. And there it is for Russell Wilson. Number 5 on the week for us was Justin Herbert. Huge Chargers fan, so it hurts my damn heart that we're cursed. We're like we're on an Indian burial ground. Something's got a voodoo doll or something stabbed into us. Something happens because it's been terrible. But Herbert himself is breaking all these records. He has the record for the most consecutive games with at least 2 or more touchdown passes to start off a career. He just broke another record. He broke Cam Newton's passing record for the first 6 games or something like that. He's on pace to break Andrew Luck, I think, holds the record. Andrew Luck's record for passing in a rookie season. Everybody's talking about Joe Burrow beating that, but Herbert's actually on pace to beat that with 1 less game. So good on for Herbert. I'm in the mindset of let's just suck to get a really good offensive lineman because we freaking need it. Enough of my soapbox with my Chargers. Number 6 was Deshaun Watson. He did finish the week as QB 15. It's just they're getting rid of everybody. It's a fire sale over there, so it's just how it's going. to be. So, I mean, he's going to be right there on borderline QB1, QB2 for the rest of the year. It's going to be mainly matchup based. The talent's still there. It's just the team this year is a doozy. They got rid of DeAndre Hopkins, and I mean, it stinks because they took away his best weapon, and now he has Randall Cobb to throw to. So on to number 7 for the week for us is Big Ben. You heard Andrew say it last week. Cincinnati's defense is pretty porous. I do believe he had 3 top 15 receivers or 3 top 20 receivers, something like that. But he did finish on the week as QB2. So hey, get on us again. So far, so good. We're doing pretty good. But here's where it just drops off. 8 for us was Breeze. He finished as QB 23. Unfortunately for Breeze, he's going to be out multiple weeks. Rib fractures on both sides and a collapsed lung on the right side. So the collapsed lung is the same thing Tyrod Taylor had at the beginning of the year, and it's held him out. And I think he came back 2 weeks ago. He was finally healthy. He was finally able to play. So that doesn't bode well for Breeze for the rest of the year. Just depends on how well that lung heals up, because you can always play with some fractured ribs or some broken ribs. Just wear those huge flap jackets that you're always seeing them wearing with the Kevlar infused fabric and stuff like that. I just don't see Breeze, especially if it's towards the end of the year and if they're not even in playoff contention. They might want to see how Jameis does, because Breeze is he's right there at the end of his career. He's already signed a deal with NBC to be a commentator, so we might have seen the last of Breeze. I mean, it might be a little premature. It just depends on how well his ribs heal up, and if he wants to come back and he doesn't want to go out injured. Depends on the season, if they want to see how Jameis does, because Jameis will be a free agent. And do you want to give Jameis a long-term contract or maybe a 2-year contract? There's a lot up in the air for the Saints this year, so it's going to be tough for them to see where it is. But Breeze done definitely for a couple weeks for sure. I'd say about a month. So if you have Breeze, definitely need to find somebody else. Jameis is going to be a interesting pickup. I'll show you guys here once we do our waiver wire pickups how that goes, but we'll touch on Jameis here in a little bit. Number 9 for us is Brady. I did say all Bucks were going to have a bounce back game, and a good majority of them did. Chris Godwin had 90 yards and 5 catches. AB had about the same stat line as last week. Mike Evans had a touchdown. Ronald Jones had 190-something yards and a touchdown. Gronk and Brake both had a touchdown. Brady had QB1 numbers on the week, so I got that one right. Finally got a Slumpbuster of the week right. It's kind of been hard, but I mean, it is what it is. And then number 10 on the week for the quarterbacks is Carson Wentz. He did finish as QB 24. It's the Eagles. It's the NFC least. They're going to be hit or miss. He's definitely a good bye-week option or a QB2. Like if you're in a 2 QB league or a super flex league, he's definitely a good option there. I just would not trust him to be your starting quarterback. All right, so top 10 for the week. We've kind of already gotten to some of these guys. So Tom Brady, number 1 quarterback on the week. He does get the Rams next week. It was a bit hard for Wilson. He has been on a slide, so I could see Brady being right there between 10 to 17 range on the QB for next week. I don't really see him being a number 1 quarterback again. Big Ben finished 2. He does get Jacksonville next week. I do like his ability to repeat as a top 5 quarterback. I like the spot that he's in. They're throwing the ball a hell of a lot more. It's rendered James Conner absolutely useless as a fantasy owner, which sucks. But if you have Juju, especially if you have Claypool, Deontay Johnson, they're all pretty good options, especially Claypool. Aaron Rodgers finished 3 on the week. He does get Indianapolis, so that's a good thing. Their defense can be passed on. We saw Tannehill have some decent numbers. Not super crazy, but it is Rodgers. It is Adams. It is Aaron Jones. So expect another top 10 finish, but I'm going to say more around that 8 to 10 range for Rodgers. Kyler Murray finished number 4. He does get Seattle, so I actually like him as being the best quarterback of next week because Seattle's defense is absolutely horrendous. Josh Allen finished 5. He is on a bye week next week, so there's that. Don't play him. Make sure you have a backup for him and any of the other Bills players. Matthew Stafford finished to 6 on the day. He does get Carolina. We saw what Brady did against Carolina. Hopefully he gets Goliath back for next week. It's not looking likely, but if he doesn't, he still has Marvin Jones, Marvin Hall, TJ Hawkinson. So they do have some weapons still there for him to be able to crack this top 10. But I'm going to say he's going to be more that 12 to 15 range for Stafford. Lamar is number 7 on the week. He does get Tennessee next week, so expect him to have lesser numbers again. I like Tennessee's defense. The only problem with Tennessee now is they lost Taylor Lewan, and they just haven't been the same team. So Baltimore Ravens might get up big and then be able to run the ball and just run out that clock. I just see it being a low-scoring game, maybe 21-17, something around that range. So don't expect huge numbers from Lamar. It is a terrible year for him. He has had a setback on the year. So just again, he's going to be probably QB2. I don't really see QB1 for him next week. Justin Herbert finished 8th on the week. He does get the Jets next week, so expect big numbers from him, but also expect the Chargers to lose a one-possession game like we have done all year. Herbert is killing it. The offense is killing it. Just we can't do nothing with it. So if you have Herbert, get on you, because he's going to be another QB1. He's going to be a top 10. I think he's only finished 1 or 2 weeks outside of the top 10 since becoming a starter. Teddy Bridgewater did finish number 9. He does get Detroit next week, but something to monitor is he does have a sprained MCL, so they're not sure if he's going to play. So if you do have Teddy Bridgewater, definitely mind that. It is going to limit his scrambling ability, which he's been really good at this year, come back from that knee injury years ago. So just be mindful of that, but I don't really see, if he does play, I don't see him getting a lot of action running the ball, so his numbers are going to be definitely deflated. Number 10 on the week is Danny Dimes, another rushing touchdown. He almost had 2 rushing touchdowns, but one was called back. He is on a bye next week, so, there's that. But he's definitely going to be your 2 QB league quarterbacks, your super flex quarterbacks. He's not going to be your starting quarterback.
I'm LeBron James. No, I'm not. But I'm the king when it comes to sports betting. BetRaiser. RaiserSport.com.
All right, guys, so now on to running backs. So like I said, Dalvin Cook was our consensus number 1. He's still playing, so we can't really see where he has landed. Number 2 for us was Aaron Jones. Fortunately, he finished 19. They really didn't do much on the ground. It was pretty much all through the air, but he is coming back from that injury. It is what it is. Like I said, though, they do have a decent matchup in the Colts. Henry did have 100 yards rushing, no touchdowns, though, so expect that similar. He's going to have multiple catches. He's going to have 50 to 100 yards. He's not going to be a complete flop. James Robinson was 3 on the week for us. He did finish as 14. A bit of a slide back since Jake Luton has started, but he's still a volume-based RB1. Everything's there for him to continue to be a RB1. Derrick Henry was our 4th best running back on this week. He did finish 18th in the week, so a little bit of a setback. He didn't score. He did have 100 yards rushing, no catches really, so it is what it is with him, especially in the month of December. We're coming right up that. He's going to be a monster for fantasy purposes because nobody wants to tackle this big man in that. Would you want to tackle Derrick Henry? Because I most certainly would not want to be tackling him. Number 5 on us was definitely a miss. We said it was going to be Kamara. He ended up being the best running back of the week. I can also see this happening again because they're going to be having Jameis Winston as their starting quarterback. So they're going to want to rely heavily on the run, check down passes, because they're not going to want him to throw 15 interceptions and 15 touchdowns in half of a season. If you don't get the joke, why are you even playing fantasy football? So he does get Atlanta. Atlanta's defense is terrible. Their offense is good, but their defense is terrible. So expect him to be running back number 1 on the week as well. Number 6 for us was Miles Sanders. He didn't finish in the top 10. He finished in the top 20. He was cute, our RB21 on the year. I don't know what Doug Peterson's problem is. Both of his backups scored. He did not score. He's the best player on the team, and they don't want to give him the ball. Don't know why. Can't tell you. He's a talent start. You have to start him because the talent is there. Just the opportunity is not, because Doug Peterson doesn't want to give him the ball, and I have no idea why. Number 7 for us was Nick Chubb. Got one almost right. He finished as running back number 8 on the week. One thing we did learn is Nick Chubb does not care about your fantasy team. He even said as much, because he was like 50-something seconds left, got to the outside, running down, open end zone to score. He runs out of bounds at the, I think it was like the 2-yard line. I think it was about the 2-yard line. So he runs out of bounds. Yeah, I mean, he won the game because they could just kneel out the ball. They were up 17. No, I think they were up 10-7. Still would have put them up 2 scores, so it really wouldn't have mattered much. But he even said it's a team sport. He doesn't care about his stats. So pretty much fuck your fantasy team. It is what it is, but he's back. He looked healthy. He looked great. He had 120 yards rushing. Chubb's back. They're going to feed him the ball. He is a must start. Josh Jacobs was our 8th best running back this week. He did get 2 touchdowns. No, he had 1 touchdown. Devontae Booker had 2 touchdowns. He did finish as the RB2 on the week. Expect that to continue. They do get Kansas City. Kansas City's run defense isn't that good. They're about middle of the line. So it's not going to be like, oh, my God, this is going to be a terrible matchup. Oh, my God, it's going to be such a good matchup. He's going to get a touchdown. Right around 100 yards is going to be my prediction for him. But he's going to be a surefire RB1 next week. You got to start him. Our 9th best running back was Mike Davis. He did finish as RB29. Really didn't do much on the ground. Again, with Teddy Bridgewater getting hurt, it might limit his ability. I forget their backup quarterback, but I remember he is from the XFL, so he might be really, really good. He might not be that good, but those XFL guys, we really haven't seen any big booms from them, and we really haven't heard much of anybody making any good plays. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. Chase Edmonds was our 10th best running back. This was before the news of Kenyon Drake coming back. He did finish as RB24 on the week. I believe Kenyon Drake was a couple points ahead of him on the leaderboard. But now it's going to be a messy situation because they're both going to be – they're going to be sharing time. It looks like it's going to be 1A with Drake, 1B with Edmonds, Drake getting most of the work. So on the weekly side, Alvin Kamara, Atlanta, fire it up. You have to fire it up. Josh Jacobs was number 2. They get Kansas City next week. Pretty good matchup. Definitely have to fire him up. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. Number 3 on the week was Nyheim Hines. Nyheim Hines in the last couple of weeks has been doing really good. He's got 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games. I don't know why they're not using him a lot. They want to feature Jonathan Taylor, but Nyheim Hines looks like the best back out there for them. Nyheim Hines does look like the best running back in that backfield. He deserves more touches. The offense flows a little bit better. He can run the ball. He can catch it out of the backfield. I'd definitely flex him if you can. I don't feel super confident starting him as your RB1 or RB2. 4th running back on the week was Ronald Jones. He had about 100 yards outside of that 98-yard touchdown, so definitely be able to fire him up. Alex Collins did have a touchdown against the Rams and did have a decent week, so definitely fire him up. Number 5 on the week is DeAndre Swift. He gets Carolina. Look what Ronald Jones did against Carolina this week. They need to feed him the ball more. He's working more as the lead back. Adrian Peterson, I believe, only had like 5 or 6 touches the whole game. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can definitely run between the tackles, everything that you want. He's finally starting to take control of his backfield like I predicted at the beginning of the season. I just didn't think it would take as long, But guess what, Stafford? You finally have a running back that can help you out. Number 6 on the week is Rex Burkhead. If you can tell me which running back from the Patriots is going to be the running back of the week to hold, let me know. Because, man, Belichick hates fantasy football. He said it before. He doesn't care for it. Rex Burkhead has 2 touchdowns. It's just like, come on. Like, nobody really knows what the heck's going on there because it might be Sonny Michel one week. It might be Brandon Bolden the next week. So it's hard to predict that backfield. Number 7 on the week was Antonio Gibson. He's definitely going to be a surefire started up every week type of guy. He's going to be more RB2 than RB1, but he still has that RB1 potential. You definitely have to start this guy. He gets Cincinnati, who has a kind of a porous defense. Look at what Pittsburgh did against them this week. Definitely fire this guy up and fire him up with confidence going the rest of the year. Number 8 on the week is Nick Chubb. He gets Philadelphia next week. Wayne Gallman had 2 touchdowns. Wayne Gallman is not Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt, so you got to fire up both Chubb, who is RB8 this week, and Kareem Hunt, who is RB10. They complement each other perfectly. Both had over 100 yards. Both had a touchdown. So this backfield is a split backfield, but it works. It's kind of like Kamara and Ingram the last year. Ingram was in New Orleans. And then number 9 was Devontae Booker. I wouldn't look too much into this. If you have an open roster spot, he might be a good add as a injury replacement if Josh Jacobs goes down. But other than that, he can pretty much stay on the waiver wire unless you're in a deep league or, you can have 17 flex positions. All right, guys, so 4 receivers. We said Devontae Adams was going to be the best receiver of the week, and he wasn't. He was wide receiver 16 on the week, but he's a surefire guy. You have to play him. He's Rodgers' favorite target. He has like 7 catches in the last 4 weeks. You have to. Tyler Lockett was our wide receiver 2. Some people were really high on DK Metcalf. I was kind of fading him because I knew he was going to get shadowed by Jalen Ramsey. I just didn't think it was going to be that good of coverage on Jalen Ramsey. I think he only had like 2 catches for 40 yards, DK. But Tyler Lockett, we thought he was going to do better. We had him as the number 2, and unfortunately he was only the 29th best receiver this week. DeAndre Hopkins is that man. He finishes wide receiver 2. What more can I say other than did you see that play? And if you didn't see that play, what's wrong with you? Triple coverage, Hail Mary to win the game. DeAndre Hopkins is ridiculous. Stephon Diggs, he did get we said he was going to be the 4th best receiver. We were close. He said he finished as the 6th best receiver. And what we thought was the game-winning touchdown with, I think it was like 50 seconds left or something like that, 50 to 40 seconds left. So not much time left, but Arizona and Kyler had some last chance, opportunities, and they capitalized on it. But hey, Diggs, he's good. He's one of the best receivers in the league this year. I think he's like 5th or 6th overall for the season. He is on a bye, so hopefully you have a bye week replacement for him. But going forward after that, you got to play him. Number 5 for us was Keenan Allen. He did save his day with a touchdown, a late touchdown. He only had 3 catches for 36 yards. He did finish as wide receiver 26. Miami's defense, they're starting to come into form. Xavier Howard, Byron Jones are killing it on the outsides. I might have to start fading those. Receivers that play Miami because they probably have one of the best tandems right now at cornerback. So look for that going forward if your team's playing Miami. I know it sounds weird because it's Miami and they've always been a laughing joke or a laughing stock of the league. But yeah, Chargers receivers sucked this week. They are a little susceptible to the deep pass. Look at what happened with Christian Kirk last week, but DeAndre Hopkins had a quiet week, so take it for what it is. Number 6 on the week, we said it was going to be Terry McLaurin. He finished as 19. He he's starting to build more and more rapport with Alex Smith. So hopefully that'll continue. Alex Smith, it was his first start in 700 days. This is only his third game action back from that injury. So just look for the chemistry to develop and Terry McLaurin to continue to flourish, especially under Alex Smith, who definitely has the arm talent, who can get him the ball accurately. Number 7 on the week is Allen Robinson. The game is still going on, so we can't say. I hope he doesn't score well because I need him to score less than 9 points. I don't see that coming because he's their number 1 receiver, and he's going to be a talent-based start going forward. DK Metcalf was going to be our 8th best receiver, and he finished as 64 on the week. Again, like I said, Jalen Ramsey's, I didn't think he was going to be that good to be able to cover him. Look at what happened with Stephon Gilmore, but he blanketed DK all day. DK really didn't do much, so Jalen Ramsey, you're earning that paycheck, bud. Our 9th best receiver was Will Fuller. It was more of a bust week for him. He finished as 42. He's going to be boomer bust. He's not as boomer bust as he has been in the past, but he's still going to be a matchup-based, start for me to start him confidently moving forward. So just look for defenses that are burnable, defenses that are either hurt or just lack the talent going forward. And then last on the week was A.J. Brown. He said he was going to be the 10th best receiver, but he only had 1 catch for 20 yards. He finished as wide receiver 76. Not good, but you have to start him up. I think he leads the league in yards after catch. It's either him or I think Keenan Allen's up there. I'll have to look at the stat again, but I know he's definitely top 5 in yards after catch, so you definitely have to start him, especially a team's number 1 receiver. More often than not, you have to start those guys. All right, so for receivers for the week, we have, surprise, surprise, Cole Beasley, 11 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown. He is a bad man. He's got that sauce. He's on a bye, so don't expect much from him. Wide receiver 2 on the week was DeAndre Hopkins. He gets Seattle, so what do I need to say more about that? Seattle's defense sucks. DeAndre Hopkins is a beast. Fire him up. Wide receiver 1 probably next week. Number 3 on the week is Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Say that 15 times fast. I dare ya. Yeah, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. He does get Indianapolis next week. Key for him is going to be look at Allen Lazard's health. If Allen Lazard comes back, start to fade MVS. If Lazard is still there, then I might flex him. Definitely don't start him with confidence. I'm like, oh, yeah, we're going MVS. Because outside of his 80-yard touchdown, he had 3 catches after that. So you can't really trust him. But, the opportunities are there. He's so hit or miss. He's like Will Fuller was a couple years ago, where it's like you start him, he has 3 catches for 30 yards. You sit him, he has 5 catches for 180 yards and a touchdown. So just be wary of him moving forward, especially keep an eye on Allen Lazard. Now, 4th receiver on the week was Deontay Johnson. He gets Jacksonville. Fire up all 3 of those receivers, Juju, Johnson, and Claypool. And if you're in a super deep league, Washington, if you're in like an 18-team league or something, yeah, go ahead because the opportunity is always there for him. But it's just those big 3 for them. Start all 3 of them up next week against Jacksonville. Number 5 is T. Higgins. He's finally starting to come on. He's had a couple good weeks in a row, him and Burrow. I feel like if they would have actually had a preseason, Higgins would have come along a lot sooner. They do get Washington, who in recent weeks has had a not so stellar defense, but at the beginning of the year, they definitely did have a really good defense. The opportunities there, I believe he's getting about 5 to 10 looks a game. He's arguably their favorite red zone target as well. A.J. Green has definitely taken a step back. So my prediction on A.J. Green being a pretty good sleeper for you has definitely gone out, and it's been replaced with Boyd and Higgins. Again, Stephon Diggs, number 6. He's on a bye next week, so can't really break down that game. Number 7 on the week was Marvin Jones Jr. They do get Carolina, but you need to keep in mind if Golladay is going to be back or not. If Galladay's back, you got to sit him. If Golladay is still out, if you're in a deep league, yeah, go ahead and start him. But I'm not confident in him at all. This might come back to bite me. Juju, just mark this down because it might come back to bite. 8 on the week was Willie Snead. They get Tennessee. I just don't have any confidence in Baltimore receivers whatsoever, and I don't think you guys should either. So Willie Snead had, maybe 1 touchdown in the last 8 games, maybe 200 yards receiving, if that. So I just would stay away from all of these guys. Number 9 was Juju. Like I said already, fire up all 3 of those guys for Pittsburgh. I'm starting to like Juju's role. They're starting to get him more in the slot where he feels more comfortable, where I feel like he fits that offense a lot better in that slot, and Big Ben is starting to look back at him. So, yay, Juju. I need you to kill it because you're in 2 of my leagues. So, come on, Juju, let's go. Number 10 was Michael Pittman Jr. They do get Green Bay next week. And Michael Pittman Jr., the last 3 games has had 15 targets. So, that's pretty good. His target share is starting to go up. His first 100-yard game. Phil Rivers is starting to look for him because T.Y. really isn't there. It might have been that Jack Doyle was out, so he started looking to him the last couple games. So monitor Doyle's health. And unless you're in a deep league, I would maybe roster him, but I wouldn't start him just yet. We need a couple more games like this in order to start him with confidence.
This is a message brought to you by the Foundation for a Perfect Package.
Why do I need Manscaped?
Why do I need Manscaped?
Why do I need Manscaped?
Because the only frill I want is the one up top.
Because being in a relationship is not an excuse to be lazy.
Because I like talking ball, not smelling like them.
Because deforestation is proven to prevent forest fires.
Manscaped is the only brand dedicated to below-the-waist grooming.
Manscaped's Crop Preserver guarantees that you smell your best all day long.
Manscaped Boxer Briefs are the most comfortable underwear on the market.
Manscaped's advanced skincare technology makes nicks a thing of the past.
Manscaped is the #1 in men's grooming. Subscribers get 2 free blade refills every 3 months. Get 20% off plus free shipping and handling with the promo code SLUMP at manscaped.com. That's the promo code SLUMP at manscaped.com. Get your Lawnmower 3.0 today.
We are the Slumpbusters.
And we approve this message.
All right, now on to our tight ends. So we thought Darren Waller was going to be the best tight end, and he wasn't. He was tight end 15 on the week, and again, the dart throw for tight ends continues. Evan Ingram we thought was going to be number 2. TJ Hawkinson we thought was going to be number 3. They finished 26 and 27 respectfully. And all week I don't know who I should play. I don't know if I should play Hawkinson. I don't know if I should play Ingram. Both of them have really good weeks this week. And it came down to TJ Hawkinson had 2.3 points. Evan Ingram had 2.5 points. So all that stressing for nothing. And the turning wheel of tight ends continues. It doesn't seem like, unless you have Kelsey this year, it's just kind of you're streaming and hoping for the best. Noah Fant, we said, was going to be the 4th best tight end. Again, we didn't do too well. He finished as tight end 22 on the week. Hunter Henry, we said, was going to be number 5, and we actually got close to one, guys. Yay! It still sucked for us because we still lost, but he was number 3 on the week. He had a touchdown. I believe the top 3 guys had touchdown, and really nobody else did. Let me see. So 5 of the top 5 guys had touchdowns. Other than that, nobody else had a touchdown. 6 on the week for us was Dallas Goedert. We all thought that, hey, he's coming back. No Ertz. Wentz is going to target him like crazy. But he didn't target Goddard, or Goddard, as my mom likes to call him. He actually went to Richard Rodgers. And just the tight end carousel continues because nobody was playing Richard Rodgers. And my favorite one of the week, we said Jared Cook was going to be the 7th best tight end on the week, and he did not score a single point. So I don't know where to rank him because he didn't score a single point. Doesn't look good going forward with Jameis Winston because Jameis Winston didn't even target him in the second half. They might have been doing that by design because the game was out of hand. No way for them to win, and he didn't prepare much. So at this point, I'm going to say Jared Cook is droppable. But if you don't want to drop him, look for somebody else to start this week because we're not sure what this offense is going to look like with Jameis in it. Number 8 on the week for us was Gronk. He did finish 1. He had a touchdown. He had 50 yards. That was about it. Actually, I think he finished as RB or tight end 2 on the week, not tight end 1. Austin Hooper back from appendicitis. He did finish 37th. We didn't think he was going to be there, but Cleveland just doesn't throw the ball right now. They're just handing off. I think Baker had 5 fantasy points. It's just they look better as a team running the ball and play actioning off of that. Tight ends generally benefit from that, but they have 18 tight ends on the roster right now. Harrison Bryant has been the favorite there so far, but it is what it is, and the tight end carousel keeps going. Number 10 on the week was Eric Ebron. He did finish as tight end 18 on the week. So now top 10 on the week, Mark Andrews. We finally have a sighting of Mark Andrews. He finished number 1. He gets Tennessee next week. And again, I mean, if you don't have anybody better on the waiver to stream, then you're going to have to start him. But I'm just not starting him with confidence at all for the rest of the year. Number 2 on the week was Gronk. They get the Rams next week. Brady is starting to look more Gronk's way, especially in the red zone, with the conglomeration of random people that they have on that team. Brady's doing good, but look at all the talent they had to put around him to do good. But they're starting to look better connection-wise with Gronk. Maybe he's finally getting into playing shape. It's just taken him a while because he's been out of the league for a week. I like him as a streamer this coming week. Hunter Henry, you got to start him. He has the Jets this week. I expect a big game from Herbert. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say a dark horse for a good receiver to play. I definitely wouldn't play him, but I'm going to say this as just a prediction that Jalen Guyton is going to be a top 20 receiver. He's going to have a touchdown on a deep pass against Jets. Don't start him. Don't come at me and be like, oh, Aris said start him. No, I'm just saying a dark horse is going to be Jalen Guyton. I said it was going to be this week, but he did not do much because I thought Christian Kirk did really well. Our deep threat would do well, but they just look confused. Number 4 on the week is Cameron Brate. I'd avoid him. Gronk's the tight end to own in Tampa. Jordan Reed is looking like a really good filler for George Kittle. Kittle's out for the remainder of the year. So I would definitely play Jordan Reed coming out of the bye next week, not this week. Not this week. He's on the bye, guys. Number 6 is Logan Thomas. He does get Cincinnati. I'm not going to start him with confidence, but if you have him, go ahead and start him. He is going to be touchdown dependent like all tight ends are going to be, but I don't think there's going to be much on the waiver wire that you can do better than. Number 7 is Pharaoh Brown for the Houston Texans. They get New England next week. You could just leave him on the waiver wire. They already have 2 tight ends that are better than him and that are going to get more looks. He had 2 catches. He had 4 targets the rest of the season. He had 9 routes run. Just leave him on the waiver. 8 is Richard Rodgers. Now, this one might be interesting because with Goddard back, we all thought that Goddard was going to be the preferred tight end, but it was Richard Rodgers. It might change with him being fully healthy. It's his 3rd game back, so it might start to change. But he might be somebody to keep an eye on to stream in the future. But right now, I'd say just keep him there. Or if you have an open roster spot, go ahead and pick him up. But I just would not start him. Number 9 is Jonnu Smith. They do get Baltimore. Tennessee does. I'm going to start him with confidence. He is a beast. He's a big guy, and they're starting to use him in interesting ways. He had a rushing touchdown this week. So definitely start him up. And then Tyler Higbee, they get Tampa Bay next week, so probably not. I would still think that the receivers are going to get the bulk of the work there. But, I mean, if you have him on your team and you don't have anybody better on the waiver wire or a better matchup base, then, yeah, you're going to have to play him. And that's just how it is with tight ends this year. They're just not all there. All right, guys, so we're going to get into our Slump Buster of the week and a new segment since we're going to be going to the consensus top 10. We're going to do the Buster of the week. So the guy that we said, yeah, this guy's going to be good, and then he absolutely stunk for your team, and we got to eat it. So our Slump Buster of the week, so a guy that did terrible this week that's going to do good next week, of course, it's going to be Russell Wilson. I wanted to pick A.J. Brown here, but I'm not too sure. Corey Davis is starting to come along in that offense, but I wanted to do Russell Wilson. Again, he didn't do really well, but next week he's gonna be a top 5 quarterback. He's gonna be my Slump Buster of the week. So our Busters of the week, we actually have for our first segment, our inaugural segment for them, we actually have 2 Busters of the week. A.J. Brown, we said he was going to be a top 10 receiver for you, and he ended up being outside of all wide receiver 3s. He was actually wide receiver 76 on the week. And Jared Cook, we also said he was going to be a top 10 tight end, and he didn't even score a single point. So those 2 are our Busters of the week, and Slump Buster of the week goes to Russell Wilson. All right, guys, so now we're going to get into the last segment of the show, waiver wire ads. So these are the guys that you want to pick up to make your team better, and they are going to bust that slump for you. We're going to make that push into the playoffs, and we're going to win us a championship this year. First off, we're going to start with quarterbacks. I got 2 quarterbacks for you guys. I have Tua Tagovailoa or Tua Tagovailoa, however you guys want to say it. Tua, he hasn't been doing a whole lot, but he has been looking good. He had 1 touchdown, then 2 touchdowns, then 2 touchdowns. So he's looking really good. He's looking comfortable. He can move around. They're not asking him to do too much, which is really good. So if you're in a 2-quarterback league, I would pick him up. I'm not saying to pick him up if you're in a 1-quarterback league. A 2-quarterback league, pick him up. Maybe an injury replacement or a bye week replacement if you're on that. But Tua is going to be an ad. Now, Jameis is going to be another guy to add. Now, yeah, it's Jameis or whatever. But his next 3 games are Atlanta, Denver, and Atlanta. So you get 2 games against Atlanta in the next 2 weeks. Definitely in 2-quarterback leagues, he's going to look, like your second quarterback. You got to fire him up. You got to snag him up. And hopefully Juju waits to post this because we want to get him in our podcaster league. I'm just not super fond of throwing a bunch of money on him, but maybe $5, $6, $7 on him. Now into running backs. So the guys to reach for are going to be Nyheim Hines. He's still owned only in about 40% of leagues. The rest of these guys are way less than that. So Nyheim Hines, they're starting to use him more. He has 4 touchdowns in the last 3 or 4 games. Definitely try to snag him up if you can. Keelan Ballage, he got the start and he worked ahead of Pope and Kelly. He looks like the best back that we have on the Chargers. Austin Eckler still about a week to 2 weeks away. Even when he comes back, Keelan Ballage has done well enough to earn that spell back, and we're complement with Austin Eckler. Now, from Miami, Salvin Ahmed, he's played 84% of the snaps. He had a touchdown in 2 weeks straight for Myles Gaskin being hurt. So Ahmed, definitely pick him up. He has a plus matchup next week. You might get him for 1 to 2 weeks. So don't go busting the bank on him unless you absolutely need him. And then Alex Collins as well. Same thing. You might get 1 week out of him. You do need to keep an eye on Chris Carson's health moving forward, because if Chris Carson comes back, they're just going to throw him right back to practice squad. Receiver-wise, Jacoby Myers and Michael Pittman. Jacoby Myers has been doing really well with Cam. Their connection is starting to develop a lot better. He had a passing touchdown this week. He had 140 yards last week. So Jacoby Myers is definitely a guy to pick up. And then Michael Pittman Jr. Again, with Pittman Jr., wait on him, pick him up as it may be a low-end flex or a desperation flex, but keep him because you want to get ahead of that curve. You might be able to get him for less than $5, $1, $2, $3. You might even be able to get him for $0 and not even use a waiver claim on him. May be able to pick him up Wednesday morning after all the waivers go through. And then last but not least, Logan Thomas. We got a couple teams on bye week. We got about, I think it's 4 teams on bye. So he's going to be good. He has a plus matchup next week. That's what we want to look for tight ends, plus matchups. He's a big guy, so they should be using him in the red zone as well. The only problem is I don't like McKissick because he's going to be eating into Logan Thomas's numbers and stuff like that. But go ahead and pick him up. I'd put less than $5 on him. Again, you might be able to get him for $0 on Wednesday morning. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for the show. Show us your No Shave Novembers if you guys are doing it. I know New Mexico's going back into lockdown, so you guys might be able to actually grow something. So let us see. Chris showed his, I showed mine. Unfortunately, Julian can't grow out his beard because he does have to look clean shaven. Same with Andre. So it is what it is. Our day jobs come first, and then come these jobs. So we do this because we love it, but we want to see your guys' No Shave Novembers. Might be interesting. We might be able to repost a couple of you guys if you guys have some pretty good No Shave Novembers, or even those Movembers where you just have the mustaches. So that'll be it for us, guys. Our rankings are going to be out. Sunday morning lineup help is going to be out for you guys as well. You can always DM us questions and stuff like that. We're here to help you guys. We love what we do. So let's bust that slump. Let's get into the class. Let's win a championship, guys. But that'll be it for us. You know where to find us. Instagram, all major streaming platforms for podcasts, Twitter. Hell, we might even create a TikTok for all you Gen Zers out there, but we're dudes, and dudes don't get much likes on those platforms. So it is what it is. We'll see you guys next week.